Oh, that wasn't good. That was better.
That was better.
It was good, man.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wildly Uninteresting podcast episode 101.
Whoop, whoop.
Like all the classes I never passed in college.
That's right.
I love it.
God.
Oh, shit.
Welcome back to
the
beautiful
easiest
Kristen.
one.
Kristen Couch. I don't know your middle name. You know that?
Tugon.
Tugon.
Technically.
Legally Tugon now.
Oh,
It
okay,
used
cool.
to be Marlowe. It's a fun fact.
It's a fun fact.
Used to be
I like
Marlo.
the name Marlo.
Yeah.
I only
You
know
got rid
one
of
Marlo, and I
Marlo.
like her.
It was my grandma's maiden name, so
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's cool. You got a whole lot of names.
it's yeah.
That's a stupid thing to say because
That's
all
okay.
names are names.
All names are a lot of
But I,
names.
names.
yeah, but I meant in the sense that they're all like
Yeah.
last
You know
names.
what she meant.
So after 100 episodes, we finally got a review on
Oh, it's good. iTunes.
Apple,
Yeah.
iTunes, and the person was like, just another group of white folks,
So funny.
and they were like, the name says it all or whatever, and I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I was pretty jacked
You
about it.
nailed it.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro, or lady. I don't know, and it's so
Bro, lady.
anonymous. It was so anonymous. I don't even think it had like a username or anything.
Honestly, I just really hope that it was Ian because it made me laugh so much at the idea of him
No.
saying it's just a bunch of white people.
Yeah, a bunch of boring white people. I'm like, well, that sucks. I was
Yeah.
like, I wonder who's saying this. Probably
Well-
a boring white person was like, look at these boring
for
white
sure.
people.
It's boring one.
It got me thinking though, like, what about us is like white? Like, what about what we're talking about is like
Yeah,
white?
we talk-
Like, we are boring white people.
Well, we talk
but,
white, and we don't mention the struggle enough.
Well,
Well,
that would just
obviously.
be disrespectful. Like, I don't have a struggle.
That's
I'm a cute white girl. I don't have
Waking
struggle.
up every day.
Except drug addiction, but that's like
yeah,
self-inflicted.
you go a little far. You throw the word cute around very.
Listen,
very
bitch, I'm
wildly.
cute.
Oh, look at that little cute pile of poop. Most of them are bigger.
No, but the weird thing is though, it was on the audio version of the podcast. It's not on the video. So I'm like,
That's the
damn.
problem.
Even vocally, we sound like boring white people. Apparently, I was like, what are we gonna have to do to change this?
Well, and we have like some non-white people, like
Half not
yeah,
white.
half not
Half not
white.
white. I like
Jasper.
That's so hard.
Why
to
can't I? Is that it? Is that all we've ever had that's not white?
Oh,
Oh.
okay. You said Jasper. I heard Casper. I was like,
Oh,
Casper's
that's
white,
what I was
man.
thinking.
Oh no, no, Casper's white as shit.
What is
Yeah.
white? Shit's brown, babe.
Oh, shut up.
So white as snow.
Bird
can
shit
go
isn't
ahead
in
and
some
leave.
Yeah.
in some places. Bird shit. Tell them about bird shit.
Oh well,
about
and
that
I've seen
shit.
some human
Uh.
shit that's white. Looks straight
Uh-huh.
up
Yeah.
like
About
chicken
that white
nuggets soaked
shit.
in water for too long.
Yo.
So
Oh God.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
man.
definitely had liver issues.
It
Welcome back.
Seems like it.
If I didn't say it before, welcome to the show. Thank you for our listeners that actually tune in and don't leave terrible comments on the fucking video. That's awesome.
I appreciate that.
I'm gonna
that
find
terrible
out how to
comment. I
respond
liked
to
it.
it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people out there though. Like I'll scroll through Reddit and like check out those comments, and then you'll always have somebody that's like the stuff that I was just talking about, like in Egypt when they're moving the pharaohs and stuff, and this dude's like, it's propaganda, and then he was like false flag, and then he threw out a bunch of different words that are they're like keywords from
Yeah.
like Wikipedia. And then he called himself like a whatever, like a European privileged white guy, and I was like, oh, okay, now it makes sense. Like I was like, I totally get it. Like, and they were like paragraph long rants, and then the person that was fighting against him would just like write a couple words
And be like,
then
okay,
another
I've
paragraph from
discredited
him.
everything
Yeah.
you've said.
I'm just like, I don't get the why are there people that want to fight these
Everything.
wars on Reddit or
Right.
like in the comments of sections, and like why does it matter to you that much to fight?
I've left
you know?
comments in Reddit and people like are just in an uproar over what I've said. I'm like, it wasn't like offensive. It's not a big deal. You need to relax. Have a good day. Because I'm not getting into this shit. Like, you're not going to win with someone who's doing, like, win, you know, with someone who's just yelling to be yelling.
Right.
Yelling also.
I used to be like the paragraph type dude, but then
Of course you
I
were.
thought, well, I'm done with that. I'm just gonna think about it for an hour, and I'm gonna hit them with like a sentence or two
Yeah.
that condenses everything into why they're stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they'll still argue.
No, sometimes they stop.
Well, yeah.
They're like, oh, you're right.
Or they stop because they don't want to fight with you. They're thinking it's not worth it.
Yeah, of course it's not.
Because I will win.
Yeah.
Nothing's really that worth it. I feel like I'm bassy over here. Bass.
Do you have a beat?
What?
What? A bassy voice.
Cool. Now
Got
I
that?
don't.
Got that bass in the voice.
No, but I can't get into the fighting over that shit. And then people are very rude. I follow a lot of electricians on an electrician thing, and then like if somebody posts one thing, even though like it's too cold, it looks good and shit, there's 100 people lined up to shit on the person. Like immediately, I'm like, well, this is just, it has to be a thing that goes with it. I know people are shitty and they've been shitty since you could leave comments on like message boards and shit. It's just something about it, but it is like people are they internally just shitty and they're like, well, now I got to give my shit to somebody, or did the internet create the shittiness? They're like,
I feel like it probably opened up a platform because it could be like the most insignificant shit that people are arguing about. Like,
If you look at cave walls, you'll see dissent.
Yes.
like I'm in a lot of plant groups, and like people disagree about how to take care of a fucking plant, and like,
Yeah.
and they're like, you dumb motherfucker, you did this and this and this, and
Swear.
it's so stupid.
That's the thing that bothers me is like you can disagree about stuff, but it's the dumb motherfucker stuff.
Right,
Like
right.
just say this is how this is supposed to be done, or this is what I've been informed of, and because you might be wrong, and I
Yeah.
don't want you to kill all your plants. Like you don't have to call
Like,
them a
God forbid you
dumbass.
learn something.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, don't call anybody bud or pal or
My
Yeah,
God.
my
guy. Yeah.
Those are like
God.
keywords that set people off. They're like, I'm not your guy or your bro. Like it's like
Yes.
this is
Not
just
your
how I
guy,
talk, man.
Buddy. I'm not
That's
your
a-
buddy, guy.
But I do too. I'm in a like a micro growery website or subreddit, and it seems like everything, and it's like they're right. Like the people are right when they're posting or they're asking a question. They're very cordial about it, and then there's people that just get in fights in the comments.
Yeah.
And I'm like, everybody does things differently. If it's right, it's right. It's all. And if it's wrong, like tell me it's wrong, and
Yeah.
then just leave it at that. I don't get it.
With like electricity and plants, like if the plant's alive and the lights are on,
Right.
That's all it is. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no!
There was
no.
a thing, like when COVID was relatively new. I've always been under the impression that if you're outside, you don't have to wear a mask.
Negative.
yeah.
No, I don't know.
Well, and I said that because that's what it was about, and.
Yeah.
No, I got ripped apart. Like, you're a fucking idiot. There's no way that you truly are this dumb. You were just acting this way to, like, cause a problem. I said, absolutely not.
Super question there.
I know.
Check the CDC regulation,
No.
you stupid motherfucker.
I know, dude. And it was another one of those times when I said, I'm not acting dumb for any reason.
Right.
This is what I've always thought. And how is it possible for someone to not understand that I might just not have proper information?
Yeah.
Like, just because COVID's everywhere doesn't mean that I fucking pay attention to it.
I gotta.
Lord.
The weirdness that's happening, I believe, with everything opening back up, especially in America, and I think that it highlights the privilege that white people, when they're like, I don't see my privilege, right? They say that. But then again, like when somebody's like, put on your mask, they're like, you're taking away my rights. You're telling me what to do. And then they get on, and then somebody posts them, and now they're a Karen or a Darren, and now like the nation's looking at them like these pieces of trash.
But I mean, that just seems like a straw man type thing. I mean, not like in the actual definition of a straw man, but easily tearing them down. It's like, oh, look at that. They're white. They want to do what they want to do. But if it's a black person, they're not like, oh, look at this dark motherfucker not wanting to wear a mask.
I think what I'm getting at is like now finally there's something that the government is pushing upon those people that get upset and nobody's told them what to do, and they've had the privilege for this long, and now somebody's telling them what to do and pushing them around and enforcing rules upon them, and they've had this free range for so long and they could act amok and say whatever they wanted. Now things are becoming pressurized. And the pressure's on those people, and they're fucking losing it. If you've ever fucking scrolled through those like next level bullshit or public freakouts, it's all on there, man. Like it just seems like every second there's a new person like that didn't get their donuts at Dunkin' Donuts because they wouldn't wear their mask, or they get kicked off an airplane and they're like,
stupid.
I've never seen a travesty this big. And I'm like, and
Your life must be pretty fucking good.
Dude,
I
This is
know,
the worst thing.
seriously.
This is it, yeah.
But they don't see all the fact that that's
Yeah.
good. It's I didn't get my fucking donuts.
Yeah, nobody's
So
put
ridiculous.
their hands behind their back and pushed them off a plane for no reason, what they perceive as no reason and stuff. And it's like, well, now like the tables are turning. I think that you're realizing that, you know, the privilege that you didn't realize you had now is coming to light, and you can't handle it. Like they can't handle it.
I
You
think
see the
that's
bitch freak out
absurd.
about donuts?
I no.
Oh,
I've
I'll
seen
show
some
you.
of the freak outs, and yeah, they're Karens, you know, but who gives a shit? It's not like white ladies stumble out of their cars. I'm not gonna fucking. Why do I have to follow a speed limit? Why do I have to wear a seatbelt? It's just,
You don't think they do
Yeah.
that?
Well, one lady did, but then she got tased.
I was gonna say I've seen a
handled.
lot of specifically white women that do that.
No, I just don't
And
like
they
the
usually
argument.
do get tased.
I love
It's
when
awesome.
I love when they do get tased. But the one thing too that fucks me up, they had this mentally handicapped gentleman that was like looking at pornography out loud in a library, which is awesome.
Yeah.
But the cop that come to
Out
get him,
loud.
and the cop that come up to him was immediately like, "I'm gonna tase you if you don't get up." Like there was no like, "Hey man, would you mind getting up and turn off the porn?" He was
Yeah.
like, "I'm gonna tase you if you don't turn that off and get up with me." Right? Beats the living fuck out of the guy. By the end, long story short, like cracks the rib, collapses his lung, fucks his face up with his flashlight and shit. Dude gets fired or whatever. But it's something like that. Like, where was I
shoulda-
going with that?
Oh, I don't know.
Me neither.
I was gonna say what should have happened is dude should have pulled his broken rib out and stabbed him
And
with
stabbed
it.
him with it. Oh,
He's just making up for the time that retarded kid took his lunch in high
Right?
school.
That's exactly what's happening.
I know what I was going with that. They
yeah.
because during the whole thing, the guy was turned over on his back, was fighting to be on his back, looking at the cop, right? And the entire fight from the cop to the person was stop resisting and get on your stomach. If you immediately come at me and punch me and hit me with a like a light thing and all that, and
Anything,
you're breaking
yeah.
my rib, isn't it like human nature to try to fight back or get onto your back, get into a position where you can protect yourself instead of like
That or go into
submissive?
the fetal position, not get on your
Yeah,
stomach.
yeah,
I mean,
It's a cop, not a bear.
maybe they should change the line. It's not get on your stomach and
Get in
stop
the fetal
resisting.
position.
Get in the fetal position. Yes, do what's normal. Oh, we need to petition for that. I'm gonna start making signs. Just travel around the country.
Fetal position.
Yes. Stand outside of all these police stations. Be like, change your training to this. It'll fix all your
There you
problems.
go.
What a good idea.
Or-
Nurse this pacifier while we cuff you.
Maybe the people need to come up with the least aggressive stance. What is the least aggressive stance? Would that be 2 knees on the ground, 2 hands behind your head? What's the least aggressive stance that you can do to a cop for them to be like, all right, I don't think he's resisting anymore.
I feel like it's one of those things like your entire demeanor is in play here. But also, if you come across one of those cops, it's gonna fuck you up anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
There's nothing that you can do.
Nothing you're gonna-
So
yeah.
either just be cool in every regard, and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Or you won't.
yeah,
Or
I
fight the cop.
That's what I would say. Either that or fight. You just gotta like win, lose, or draw.
'Cause, I mean, the
Somebody's
fuck-
going down.
Yeah, the fuckhead ones are gonna do what they're gonna do.
What
Yeah,
would
that
you
was
do,
this guy.
Kristen?
I mean, that one like made my blood boil as far as it's concerned, just because of like the dude. It was clear as day. Like he was like, "What's your birthday?" The guy was like, "I don't think I have one." I'm like, that would like immediately. I'd be like, "All right, man. I think something's not
Wait,
right here."
Did
Ah.
he physically look special?
Yeah. Well, no, not in the way that you would
He
He
think.
wasn't like Down syndrome.
Yeah, that's
But
what
the-
I was thinking. Like, other than that, like, I don't know how to identify him.
The way-
Unless they have those teeth.
The way he was talking and responding
I'm
to the
talking
cop
about.
is what I would say. Like he was responding in a way that you would be like, I don't think he knows that he's on planet Earth.
Yeah.
I think he thinks he may be an alien and
Yeah.
he doesn't have a birthday and he doesn't even know who the president is.
Well, yeah, then you assume they're on drugs.
Yeah,
Watching porn.
because everyone's either good or on drugs. But no, like that's exactly what happens.
I
Yeah.
don't know my birthday. I don't know the president. Probably on drugs.
There have definitely been times when, like, working in substance abuse, whenever I wouldn't, I thought that someone was on drugs and they just
Or
were
stupid.
illiterate or
Yeah.
something else, because I forget that people are illiterate or that they're slower at learning and things like that.
Right.
I just assume, well, of course you're in a place for treatment, you're probably on drugs and you're just a little slow right now.
So how many of these like Karen people or like the Darrens do you think have mental deficits that people like? Because everybody has a bad day, but if you catch somebody in a bad day on a phone and then you like post them all over the internet, like that's shitty. Of course, you shouldn't like freak out or call people names and stuff like that, and whatever, exert some sense of security that you have over other people or whatever. But some people just have a bad day, man.
Yeah, I would say that there's definitely at least, quite a few who are just having a bad day, and everyone's so quick to record everything and then just destroy people as quickly as
Oh,
possible.
let's dunk on them.
Yeah.
That whole shit.
But there was one woman who, she had like 5 or 6 different videos out that I had seen.
Like
She
that she
had
was
to
in or
have
took?
more. That she was in. Yeah, dude.
All right.
This bitch was just wild. Yeah. She might have had some mental health issue going on, though. It seemed like she was a little...
Was it all like the same
Just-
situation, or was it like different days?
Oh,
that-
no, it was different days. Oh,
Oh,
yeah. She was
wow.
like, different people recorded it, like different like clothes that she was wearing. Yeah.
Sounds like
she
a false
was-
flag to me.
Get out of the house. You can leave
No,
anytime.
I think I just articulated like why I don't like the idea of it being privilege, why somebody acts that way. Like privilege implies society has decided, oh, you're white, you get to do this. It's entitlement.
Yeah,
These
absolutely.
motherfuckers think they can do it.
Absolutely, yeah.
And just, oh, God. To continually call it privilege, it just makes me so fucking mad.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that completely. Just because you're white doesn't mean it's privilege.
Think
You could
about
just
that
be a
before you
fucking
talk at
asshole.
them.
All right, man.
No, it's cool, man.
No, I don't know. I view it differently. I think maybe it just catches me off guard to watch those videos because it's tough to watch people that have never had a struggle with anything or whatever, and never had anybody to tell them what to do, and then you see them like suffering through this like minute problem, which is a pandemic. Technically, it's minute. Wait until the waters start to rise and the coastlines go. Like, imagine those city people having to like move into the country and fend for themselves. It's gonna be wild.
And look,
It's gonna
it's
get fucking wild.
it's minute to us because we've been blessed enough to continue to work and we have money saved up. Not everyone's in that situation. It's not minute to everybody. Some people haven't worked for a fucking year and they can't get unemployment, and they have children that they had prior to the pandemic. Like, that's not minute. It's I have $60,000 worth of bills a year and I don't have any income. I can understand losing your shit over some donuts for sure. I've done some fucked up shit over nothing.
Because
So
you can't really lash out at the system.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because no one at the unemployment office gives a fuck.
And even if they do, they
Just
can't.
trying to get through the
Even if they
day.
do, they
Yeah.
can't do anything.
They're like, this is just another day for
Can I
me.
speak to your manager? Yeah, but he can't do anything either.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also, I don't like the idea of. I think it of some people, where it's like they're freaking out about nothing. It's like, oh, they haven't struggled. You don't know that.
Yeah, you have no
Right.
idea.
Yeah.
They assume
who's to say they weren't raped 7 times by their dad?
or presently, like
Or
not
presently.
like at this exact moment, but yeah.
It's just so easy to hate on people for that. At the same time, fuck them. All people are trash, but
Ian's like, I'm showing weakness. I'm showing
I know.
weakness.
I was
Fuck
talking
'em.
about Mr. Freeman earlier. And I was like, oh yeah, bleeding is a sign of weakness. Laughing is a sign of weakness.
Yeah.
Breathing is everything is weakness.
It all is. You're weak.
So yeah, I don't want to have too soft of a side, because I would just kick them all in a ditch. But maybe think before you rip on them.
Hell yeah.
I do like though that everybody is jacked about the pandemic allowing them to like just go back to. I don't think there is like technically going back to normal after this. And then like you sent me a story about the influenza virus, and then it had like 4 waves of like just destructive force.
It's
And
basically
because
been
American,
exactly
the
like
American
COVID
people
thus far.
wanted to just
like an
bounce right back. They didn't want to get out of the way they did life and shit. And they did the same exact thing then because they did now.
People flipped out and said it was against their
they didn't
rights
want
to
to wear the mask.
mask.
They didn't want to
Yeah.
social distance. They had these same exact simple rules in, what was it, 1930s or whatever? The same exact rules, same exact play, all that shit. And they were like, nope, we're not going to do that. And then they suffered 4 waves of a terrible disease that they could have just,
It
like
stems
these other
from a
countries.
distrust of government and each other.
Why do you think, for as long as it's been, why do you think we distrust our government? Do you think that
Because they've
that's-
experimented on us and they don't give a fuck.
Well, I mean,
shady.
if that's
Yeah.
the case, then why the fuck are we still talking about, like, instead of like crying and whining about the system or distrusting, like, create your own system within the system with amongst your friends. Go buy a plot of land and you all live together and hang out and fucking you have your own little special government where you talk to each other and have
noticed
secret
a
meetings.
healthy
and-
amount of people like that I know have offered that, but nobody does it.
No, it would be too disruptive to their
Yeah.
comfortability.
Plus,
Yeah.
it would be a struggle.
Yeah.
That's
Like,
what
I don't know how to get this off the ground. Karen, you get Kristen. you gonna do
Karen.
it? Karen,
Damn.
you uppity bitch. Are you gonna do this?
Yes.
Sorry, there's Everclear in that.
I think a lot of people, like, they want to, like, try to start things on their own, and, you know, I have a great idea for X, Y, and Z, and then, you know, everyday life happens, and I
Yeah.
gotta take care of my kids, and, you know,
Absolutely. And it's a damn pandemic. How am I supposed to buy a plot of land? Like,
right.
Yeah,
Just on my to-do
anything.
list. I'll eventually get there.
Absolutely.
You just go infect somebody and wait for them to die and take their land.
You could do that.
None.
You could just
Just
on the back
wait.
make
burner.
them die and take their land.
Just take a lawn chair and sit across from their land, and when they ask you what you're doing, I'm just waiting for you to die, man. I want this plot of land.
I'm watching
Lurking.
birds.
Just let it happen.
It's like you're
I'm in a
waiting
real
for the-
weird place
Birds.
tonight.
I don't
Oh,
know.
I like
It's
it.
just super weird, and it's super weird to see people like go back to what they believe is normal, and then of course the price of housing is up, the price of lumber, materials, gas, this and that, and they're all like, "How is this possible? Our government's fucking us. It's Biden's fault. It's Trump's fault for before he left, he fucked shit up, and Biden's having a stroke, and fucking Kamala's gonna be the president."
Every
Like, I don't
day.
know why that's a worry for people, because Kamala seems like she has her head on her fucking shoulders. If Biden goes, it's history in the making for one, right?
Wow.
And she seems like she has her shit together compared to Trump or Biden.
Yeah.
I mean, either
It's-
that or Kanye.
It's
Give me
history in the
Kanye.
sense that there's a
Yeah.
woman taking orders from the shadow government now.
Yeah, people definitely don't care for that.
Oh, well, I can see like where that, because I've always felt like it doesn't matter who is on the podium because it's all just a play for us to fight over anyways.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it does, I mean, it gives you hope. It gives the people hope. You have a female president that is, I don't know her ethnicity. Why don't I know
She's
that?
Indian.
It's
and-
because she's black and brown. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes.
I feel super bad that
Jesus.
I don't know that, but if that was to happen, that's a huge step in our history
To
as far as that's
simplify
concerned.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but when it comes down to it, I don't believe that person has any say in anything. But for the people's sake, I think it would be beneficial if Biden would just go ahead and kick the bucket, like finish the bucket list and just go and kick it. We don't need,
Just finish the bucket, put him in it.
yeah,
Put him
Set 'em
in
off
put
to
him in the
sea.
bucket,
it. Melt him down.
throw a little lie in there,
I don't
he'll
know.
be fine.
I don't know. Why are we melting people? And
I don't know.
something's
not?
up with my brain tonight.
But it seems like it's always everybody else's fault. And I think maybe I don't believe that because I listen to too many motivational videos. They're like, take responsibility for your life, and it's how you view life. And I'm like, yeah, it probably is. Like, it's only bad if I view it as bad.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty good, and I'm okay with it. Like, at least he sent out a check. What did they call him at the table? Uncle Biden or Uncle Joe?
Which
Uncle
I
Joe
just think
sent
is
us
so
a check.
cute. I don't know where the Uncle Joe thing came from, but I love it. I just want to hug
It's
him.
precious.
Yeah.
Oh, Uncle Joe. As long as Uncle
Yeah.
Joe don't touch no kids, we're fine.
The only,
Right.
the only
Joe,
Joe that I'll
keep your
call
hands
Uncle anything is Uncle Joey.
No.
Uncle Joey Diaz.
Joey Diaz.
Look, that's like a creepy uncle.
I will
You know?
say,
That's why he's
though-
the best. Get out there. Come on, everybody. Tell him to suck your dick. It's Monday.
He does
That's
have
my
a creepy
uncle.
factor, but you still want to hang out with him.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I'll say though that after all the shit came out and after they blasted him on social media, like I don't think I've seen him sniff a kid
Well,
lately.
and look, and there's this whole.
good.
He does it when there's not cameras around.
He learned. He
At the
learned from his
Bilderberg meeting?
mistakes.
Secret
Gotta look
Service,
around
bring me a
real quick.
child.
Yeah. I don't particularly care for. It's another instance of someone makes one mistake. Okay, now he's stroking out every day of like him tripping or having an issue with the teleprompter or like getting tripped up on his words. Like, who doesn't have a hard time sometime speaking properly?
Presidents.
Who hasn't fallen?
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that there's something wrong with him. Like, he is old, but that doesn't. I know a lot of spry old people. Not like a lot. Just like I hang out with them.
I got a community of them.
Hey, Gladys, come on.
I wish I did, though. That sounds great.
Right?
And one of them better be named Gladys.
Come up and show them you dance, Gladys. It's just another one of those things where it's easy to make fun of somebody for it.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. He can't walk. He's a horrible president. He's smarter than
Absolutely.
you dumb bitch.
Right.
For real, dude.
Even on his worst day.
Yeah. It
God.
really bothers me. I don't know. It didn't bother me quite so much with Trump, maybe because he was just a fucking idiot, but just all around. But it bothers me with, like, I don't want to read stories about it where people are just going to, like, make fun of him. Like,
Yeah.
It'd be different if every single time he got up and talked, like, something happened.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the case.
If you
not
want an
that I've
article
seen.
like that, like read Glamour.
Ooh.
Or like Vanity Fair.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I've read some really good articles from Vanity Fair.
You know?
I swear to
Go
God.
on.
I'll find them and I'll send them to you. Maybe if we can remember,
good
we'll
deal.
post them in the link. The one that I'm thinking of was about a family. The two moms adopted, I think it was like 6 kids, and she drove herself off a cliff with the kids and the
Yeah.
other mom in the car and killed all of them, clearly. It was wonderfully written. It was fantastic.
I vaguely remember that story.
Yeah.
That's pretty messed up.
Oh, it's definitely messed up because I read a couple different stories about it, and Vanity Fair for sure was the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Nice.
knocked it out of the park.
Way to go, Vanity Fair. I was trying to belittle them, and now you're like
No,
journalistic
I'm over
integrity.
here repping them.
I
This
just
episode
can't.
sponsored by Vanity.
Let's talk
I
about
gotta
the
call
Courier
them.
Journal
Yeah.
and how we got mentioned in it.
Absolutely, I printed it out. It's on my filing cabinet
Yeah,
in the
boy.
back.
I feel like I have the like original copy, and I was so waiting for which I feel like they would download the episode from whatever the minute they knew that he was on it.
Yeah.
And I've been waiting. I was like, they're gonna knock on the door and like ask for the copy of it because we keep them all, and because I wanted to go back and check like they quoted him because I'm tired of like places like mistelling a story or leaving like one word out to make it sound different for people.
I did not rape that child.
Yeah. And that's what I wanted to go back and just like listen to it and what the Courier Journal quoted from him and how they made the quote sound on the Courier Journal to make sure that that's how it came across, because I felt like that was a straight up like good interview with
I
somebody
really
that
liked
went.
him.
He didn't like let on anything. He didn't admit to anything that, I mean, he was there, but they know that. The cameras know that. Like,
Right.
and he made us pull it, which
He didn't make us. He asked.
well, he
and
asked
it
us,
was
yeah.
The right thing to do. I
And
think.
it's, for out of respect, for sure.
That's right. It's pulled because of Oh Dude.
yeah.
That's fine.
I figure at least just
Yeah.
until everything's over.
Couch was giving me shit.
Yeah.
Fuck couch.
What? And I talked to Couch, and he
I
said
didn't
that,
weigh in.
he said that he had the downloaded version. I'm like, yeah. I was like, yeah, that one you get to keep if you download it. But we just pulled the RSS feed off of everything. But I would have just left at that point. I would have just left it up, right? Because the people that go to view it, of course, they're gonna talk shit. Everybody talks shit. Like everybody loves to talk shit.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, I felt like it was a good interview. We talked good, and then the end point was the best part about listening to people because nobody in the fucking nobody nowadays want to listen to anybody that has a opposing view from them, which is fucking ridiculous.
I
Yeah.
really did
While we're-
appreciate like what it stood for, basically. Like it's opposite opinions sitting down and just talking and not killing each other. I appreciated that, but I mean, I'm quite happy to have it down at the moment. So
Oh, are you?
I am. I think
Oh, you
it's
are,
fine.
are you?
You are.
Plus,
are you?
Mike is the shit, so I'm all right.
I think that's what bothers me, and I've said that before, and I know I don't want to reiterate myself in that sense, but it just sucks because how many people do you think out there, or how many mics do you think are out there? Just super good people, super like, I got your back, bro. No
One.
matter what, I'll scratch your back if you scratch my back. And then the media gets a hold of one thing they've done, or they were with a group of people that just so happened to a lot of shitheads a part of it. And I even like related to like Black Lives Matter, and that the entire group got shit on for, you know, a couple people that did some fucked up shit because they were angry. Like, it sucks. How many people are out there like that just get trashed, and now that has to stay with them for that long.
Yeah.
All
Like,
anybody needs is like representation of leadership. So if the mics elect like a singular mic to speak for them,
The mics.
then they'll be fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like every mic that you know will take you mudding.
Yeah, no, absolutely, dude. Yeah, I just love it. We need like a new group, the mics, and they would just be the best.
I'm Mikey. Fuck the mics. Oh God. There we go.
Mikey made me think of the dude from Weezer. Mikey.
Ah,
yeah.
yeah, Mikey.
Wasn't he like he was a little out there, wasn't he?
Wow.
Which I appreciate. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't know the tale, but yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I like the idea of the Mikeys being the opposite of the Mikes.
So he was the dude on the
Yeah.
Green album, right?
Yep.
Okay.
With the
So I was
hair.
thinking Matt was the dude that's in the rentals.
Yeah.
And okay, yeah.
Yep.
But then I liked Mikey, but I hate the Green album.
Really?
All the songs sound the
liked it.
same.
All of Weezer's songs sound the same.
Pinkerton's sad.
Oh, it is sad.
Blue album, surfing. Maladroit, kind of fishing in a garage.
Just fishing in a garage. Did you ever listen to Weezer?
I am millennial trash. And
Yes, you are.
So
didn't-
you
yes.
love 'em.
Yes.
Well, so I didn't know about Weezer until Beverly Hills.
Oh, that's
came
okay. I
out,
like that song
so-
too, though. Was that a reaction to her or the Everclear?
I don't know,
Okay.
definitely her. I'm numb to it now.
Okay.
This. No.
That's all right. I figure you find out about them when you find out about them.
I like them.
I just listened to a band for the first time that was from the 70s. I've never listened to. Like, it's 2021. Like, you find them when
That's
you find
okay,
them.
yeah.
Dude,
unless what?
from here to
What?
infirmary is 20 now.
Wow.
Yeah, so I mean, to think about that, it's like
Makes me feel old.
whenever, yeah, like whenever it was the 90s, it was like, oh man, here's some fucking Steppenwolf.
Oh, hell yeah, there's some fucking Steppenwolf. That's a shirt. Done.
But
Steppenwolf
it's
only come out with
crazy.
2 good songs.
Yeah?
He only had 2 good ones. I bet
They
you know
were
which
so
ones those
good.
are.
I don't.
Magic Carpet Ride
Ah, yeah.
and Born to Be Wild.
All right.
That was
yeah.
it. It's the only one everybody knows.
Born to Be Wild, pretty cool.
At their
Carpet Ride, I'll
concerts,
groove.
they play those 2 songs back to back 12 times. Did you know that?
That'd be awesome,
That
dude.
sounds
Yeah.
made up.
It totally is.
Well, it's not. Have you seen them?
No.
You know.
I hate a band that
I
has.
don't know.
I hate a band that has one just fantastic, great song, and then they put it at the end of the set of all the shitty songs. So you have to sit
Yeah.
through the whole set just to see the
Yeah.
one you wanted, and then you have to leave early to beat the crowd back to your car so you can get home
So
early.
yeah, I would hope in that situation you wouldn't go see that band play. Because if
I
you're only
know.
there for literally one song and you know most likely it's going to be the last one,
It has to be.
yeah, it's just a
Yeah.
waste of money and time. Now maybe if they have like 3, if they have like 3 songs that are just like the shit and you feel like going to do something cool,
Why not?
one,
No.
I'll leave it
Ooh,
alone.
if you want to heckle them,
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, then that's cool.
But now you're that guy that watches the video and gives views while you're hating on them, and they're making money off of your hate.
That's
See,
not right.
they
Yeah, but
still
it's-
they
Oh,
win.
yeah.
in that
in some
instance.
sense,
They're
it's like
always
a
winning.
fair trade. It's like as long as I can say whatever the hell I want about them,
Just keep
that's
giving
cool.
them views.
Yeah, here,
Yeah.
get your money.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I hate you.
I hate you.
So did you end up getting the vaccine?
I did. Yeah.
Do you have to get it for work? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just thinking you work around a lot of people, don't you?
Yeah, they so we're still working from home right now. But eventually I think maybe in the next few months we'll start going back to in-person visits, and I know a lot of my families, they have like they're okay with being vaccinated. A lot of them are very opposed to it. And so I kind of wanted to be prepared for any situation.
Can
Yeah,
you can you tell a
absolutely.
divide based on party lines or anything of that nature?
Not really. it's a weird mix that I have on my case.
Basically, do you know any people that have a flag on the back of their truck that are happy that you're getting it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
See, they're not all the same.
Did,
Bless 'em.
They meaning groups of people in general.
did it end up making you either one of them make you feel bad?
The second one did. The second one, the day of that night, I had a really bad headache, and then the following day, I had a fever, chills, and the rest of the week, I just felt like I was knocked out.
That just sucks.
So.
I feel like when we had the flu shot and any other vaccine I've ever gotten, maybe it was a little sore or whatever, but you're just going about your thing. This one literally has made, everybody I've talked to has made, either on the first one or the second one, made them sick.
Yeah.
And I'm like, as much as I want it because I work around people, most of the people I work around are starting to get it. They're older clients, stuff like that. They're getting it, and that's cool. But I don't want to give myself a sickness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to be sick for
Look,
2 or
and
3 days.
I swear to God, that's my big thing. Is I don't get the flu shot because I don't want to feel bad.
Yeah, I've never had it.
Yeah.
I never gave a shit.
I don't want to feel bad at all, and the COVID vaccine scares me for that reason because I'm a pussy and I don't want to feel sick.
Does it last? Like, how long is the vaccine good for?
I don't know.
know.
That's a good
Yeah,
question.
that's a
2
great
days.
question.
while you're sick, and then it's
While
null
I'm
and
at home on
void.
the couch, I'm armored.
Yeah, man. But no, that's we had just talked to a couple last night, and the lady that she does like house calls for nursing. She's like a in-home nurse or whatever.
Oh,
And
crap.
the company didn't even, they didn't give her an option. They were just like, she came into work one day and were like, "You're getting this."
Yeah.
And that and like testing too at her daughter's school, they were like, "We don't care, you're getting tested." And the test, when they shoved the swab up there, and she said it was horrible, and they made her test twice.
Yeah.
So by the time she done, her shit was all messed up. But the vaccine, I was like, man, you're forcing her to do it, or they said, or we can fire you, either or.
Okay.
And it's like you don't.
That
like,
seems illegal to me.
It
Right.
does.
I mean, how do you feel like they should like force people to fucking?
I mean, like with the flu shot, so we weren't required to get it. It was just we were emailed every other day saying you should get this.
We strongly
hint, hint.
recommend it.
But with like the flu shot, we're required to get it unless there's like a doctor or religious exemption. Which I was always curious, like how they prove a religious exemption. Like, do you have to get a note from your priest? Or do
Right.
you just say, like,
Yeah.
I'm
God,
Jesus,
say
God
this
said no.
Yeah. I don't know how that works.
So yeah, but
It's just your own personal conviction.
Yeah.
That's all.
I would say I know in prison, like you could just be like, most people like to get, it was like a religious, whatever, but they would say they were Muslim because during, like, what is it called when they fast for the 40 days?
Ramadan.
Ramadan.
Thank you. They would get like double trays at night, and then they
Ramadan.
couldn't have certain meals, so they would make these plates that had more meat on them or whatever, or a different kind, or they'd have more food on those trays, and they would just be like, "Yep, that's what I am." Or they would, you know what I mean? It was just their say so against it. They didn't have to have a priest come in. They didn't have to have no notification. So I guess it's kind of like that. It's like, well, that's why I feel like half these people, they get all irate about not wearing a mask, and they're like, I got a medical exemption. I don't feel like they actually have like a card.
There was one broad at work, like, she got an exemption for wearing a mask because she had asthma. Then I thought, well,
It's
if
ridiculous.
you get it, that's
Right.
just going to make it worse.
You're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like I have asthma. I wear it.
Either way, fucking. You do?
Yeah.
God, I don't know anything about you.
Oh, it's because I'm allergic to everything,
Oh,
and it just makes it difficult to breathe. Yeah. Which means I'll die.
episode 101 we learn.
So this says that the immunity is for at least 6 months.
Oh, God.
But I feel like if
That's
everyone,
nothing.
no, it's really not at all. But I can see how it would be beneficial if the majority of the people got vaccinated.
Right.
Within like a certain time frame of each other, it could definitely
I think,
cut down
yeah,
on it.
Like reduce any kind of a surge or like,
Yeah,
prevent another wave or
It
something.
seems like
Yeah.
if we were to just stockpile enough for everybody get vaccinated at once, it's gone.
Yeah.
Why don't they just do that with the flu?
Well,
Why
they
don't
didn't have
do
a
that with
vaccine
everything?
for the flu at the time. Oh, you're talking about now?
Yeah, now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, because I also saw like I didn't read the story, but I saw a headline
Of course
where
you
they're talking
did.
about should we just continue wearing masks even after COVID
Yeah.
because flu numbers are down and everybody.
Well, I mean, they
Pussy
do it in
motherfuckers.
some places.
I would say,
they,
I
they
thought,
wear
like-
a mask when they're sick.
Yeah, I thought like in China, Japan,
Yeah.
places like that, since there's a vast majority, like the vast majority of people are very close together, that a lot of them just wear masks, like on
Yeah.
the subways or trains, stuff like that.
I mean, I could be wrong, but I feel like that's just a personal choice.
Yeah,
though. It's
that's
not
what I
like
was
you're gonna
gonna
fucking
say.
do it,
Yeah.
Is
so
you
we're gonna eat you.
I can feel like
definitely, if you
after
want
this,
to.
I'll still wear a mask, like
Yeah, and if
even when
people
it's
want
all
to,
on.
that's fine. Like
Yeah.
Casper had some masks, like from before COVID. She just wore them because it was cold and she doesn't want to be around people.
Oh,
But-
that's awesome.
You know.
Go Casper.
I think that would be beneficial for any like airborne thing, like the flu or anything, pneumonia. Not pneumonia. I don't know if that's
Sickle cell.
what's the one
Couldn't help
that
it.
kids get. It's, what they call it, a kissing disease or
Mono?
whatever. Mono,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Stuff for little kids in class and shit.
Yeah.
Like a lot more families would stop complaining about all their kids getting sick at one time because all the kids at school touch each other for some reason. I don't know how that works.
I'd be
But
fine
when
with
one
it for
gets liced, they
kids,
all get liced. I don't
because
know.
one, I'm not a kid, and two, they're nasty little fuckers.
They are nasty.
They are
little
nasty.
So
fucks.
anything to kind of handicap that is nice.
Yeah, dude. And I'm hoping a lot of this stuff carries over. People washing their hands more, because that should be a thing. If there was like a disease that dudes got from pissing on the toilet seat in a public restroom, I hope that one day there is a disease that happens to every dude that pisses on it. Because every time I go to take a shit,
And
I
not
gotta
like
clean
just
their
a
piss
dribble.
off.
Yeah. That's why anytime there was a dude like coughing, I'd say, that's what you get, bitch.
You just need
I
to
s-
create this
dude,
disease.
I
You
s-
just have to
I-
create the toilet seat
There's-
disease.
Get Dr. Sex Woods on it.
Absolutely.
There's nothing else I hate more than the fact, and that's why I told her. I even made a post about it. I was like, now I understand why half you like have wives that fucking hate you, or you're not married and never been married. It was like you're a dirty fucking piece of shit if you come in here and like you don't just do this in public. This happens at
Yeah,
home.
you know it should
It
happen
happens
at
at
home.
like
Right.
friends' houses.
I
You're a
don't know where
dirty piece of
chicks
shit.
get off on their cleanliness, though, because they have periods.
What?
Wait, what'd you say? Say it again. I'm sorry, I missed.
I don't know where chicks get off on their ideas of cleanliness because they have periods.
You're stupid.
I know.
Again,
say-
get out of the house.
So what ignorant shit can I say now?
It's like, on behalf of all women, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry. I even I go as far as to like go to the women's restroom like when I don't feel like fucking with the men's restrooms
And
'cause
clean
it's-
those seats too.
No, they don't.
Help y'all out,
I don't
baby.
usually have to have an issue with the female restroom, even though unless a dude just got done pissing in there and then I have to wipe
Some
it off.
chicks hover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look out for that.
I will say my experience with the women's restroom is it's either fine or it's fucking disgusting.
There's no in between.
There is no in between.
No.
It's so just I don't I hate it.
That's what the
I don't
cleaning
use
people
them.
at work have said.
Yeah.
Like it's either clean or there's like blood and shit on the walls.
Everywhere,
Yeah.
dude. Yes.
What's the? I just don't understand. Like I've never like I clean the R toilet every single time I get done using the restroom. Like just in case,
Just
not
wipe it
not
off.
every single time, but at the end of the night, it's one of my habits. Like I'll wipe off the top, I wipe off the bottom. I'll even clean inside the bowl to just make sure that nothing's there. So if company comes over, they don't have to like see whatever. I do that. It's just like maybe it's one of those ticks, Like I'm kind of like that's the one
a
thing.
prison thing.
Yeah. Like, I clean the toilet, but it makes me irate. I text her every single time. I'm just like, I want to kill dudes that piss on the toilet. I understand why my mom threatened to like slap the fucking shit out of me when I was a kid. She was like, you know what I mean? She used to get mad at me, like, don't fucking do that. Don't.
Man. I
If
used
it's
to-
like 8:30 in the morning and I get a text about wanting to murder people, I know it's about toilet seats.
Every time.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I used to do this thing as a kid. I was a nasty kid. Like I would have the seat up, and like the lid and whatnot, and I would pee in the seat like onto the lid because it was like target
Like a target,
practice. Yeah. So then
Ah,
and then
shit.
before I came here, I crapped and it was a little spray-y, and there was some like on the back of the seat.
Yeah.
Not like the back of the seat, like the
But
back
like
of the
the
bowl.
back,
Yeah. And instead of like dealing with it, I just left it and left the seat up.
You're
So it was like, here you go, look at
gross.
that.
I hate you. If you ever do that at our house,
one's
you
for
will
the
never
dog.
come back. It's for the dog. Yeah.
There's some steak in that mess.
Something else too I wanted to bring up because I don't give Mike a lot of shit about like his views. I listen to him and then I'll go watch the things he tells me and then I'll like read them just so I can't have an opinion if I don't like pay attention to the other side as well. Sure. So I'll go watch it. And
Can't have an informed
oddly
opinion.
enough, dude, because I subscribe to a lot of people on YouTube that they're not so much like anti-America. They're more like anti-capitalism, working yourself to death, believing, the government stuff. They're not so against government. They're just like it should be done a little different.
Yeah, they're against corrupt government.
Yeah. And every single one of those channels are now putting like their Patreon at the beginning of the video and the end because they've all been demonetized. They'll let them play, but they've all been demonetized if they say one thing that says like, one video was about like that since we've been born in our generation, we really haven't had a normal time. We've had 9/11, then we had the invasion of Iraq and Iran that was baseless. We've had the
This
pandemic,
shit right
the
here.
crash of the stock
Yeah.
market. We've had the housing crash. We've had. We're always in turmoil in our time, given it's the best time to be in,
In turmoil.
yeah, it's not as bad as like World War II, one.
Lower levels of poverty make the turmoil better.
Yeah, yes.
But like all those people that's all it was about. And it was all those videos are demonetized, just showing the pattern of how we knee-jerk react to like the pandemic. We had an answer for that. We had an answer for obesity being linked directly to sugar. And then the sugar companies lobbied against high-fat diets and said that was a problem. Then they, after it, added more sugar to the diets because they cut all the fat out. So to make the food more palatable, they had to pump more sugar in. So they targeted the cause, and then they added more sugar after the fight was over. And then we, fast forward 50 years, and now it's a problem even amongst children.
Yeah.
Right.
Because of that happened in the 1950s. The 1950s.
Well, the stuff of the demonetizing, like, did this particular video provide any evidence?
Yes, a lot of it.
Yeah.
And the whole video is based on evidence that you can go look up like yourself. He had all the numbers from all the previous years. He even brought up the fact that Exxon, right, in 1950s, they were ahead of their time in their studies, and the open water season then was like 2 months, right? They predicted then that by 2050 that the oceans would rise enough that coastlines would be underwater. Right? They did a study to see why it would happen, how it would happen, and when it would happen by, right? But they didn't do it to reverse the problem. They did it so they knew when to, like they said that the open water season would last 5 months, 3 to 5 months compared to the 2 previous. And they only did the study not to help the world, but to see where they can position themselves best to still make profit in the destruction. Because they knew it was coming. And they knew why it would come and how to fix it.
Man.
But they were like, they wanted to put themselves in the right position to continue to make money even when everything was crashing around you. That's fucked up. And we've known that since the 1950s as well. Those studies were done in the 1950s as well.
I feel
That's
like
fucking
this
crazy.
kind of stuff is a lot more of why there are shootings than the fact that people have access to guns.
Right?
This kind of
Yeah.
shit is happening on such a large scale all the time.
Yeah.
Nobody's held accountable.
Never. People get tired of that shit.
And I even reversed
They don't kill the
something.
right people.
I reversed something I said
They kill the
a few
wrong people.
podcasts back about Japan and China, talking about like they're overworked, they do all this and stuff. And there were facts brought up about that Americans on average work 140 something. I'm not going to say the third number, I don't know. It's 140 something more hours than Japan, which Japan is known to be the highest output country as far as like work and their employees. USA is the only place that doesn't mandate time off, sick days, holidays, benefits, 401k, all that. All these other countries do. We're not even on the graph. All these other countries do. Japan does that. I think we work 440 something more than what was the fuck place? French. We were, which makes sense. They take a lot of vacation stuff, but we're also the only place that doesn't mandate off time maternity leave, especially for the males. Like the company does not have to give you that. That's not something we mandate.
CVH, you had to take your vacation time, and if you didn't have any, you just didn't get paid for it.
No, you don't even get paid. They just take
Yeah.
that PTO from you. But we're not even on the graph. There was a lot of stuff, and it all was based off of capitalism. Same with what's happening to like Uber, Lyft, the job apps where you just pull up the app, you do the job, whatever. They don't have to pay you benefits. They don't have to pay you a living wage. They don't have to, none of that. But from the 1950s to now, we do 4 times the amount of output as far as sales and revenue, stuff like that, profit. But compared to the 1950s, you have to have 2 people in the home working to make it. And we don't receive 4 times the benefit for 4 times that. We actually make less than we did back then when you could work with one person in the family. The wife could stay home with the kids. The father got time off to see the kids when they were born and shit. They've taken all that. Uber and Lyft and all those job apps are fucking killing the market. And they lobbied against a bill to force them to fucking pay them a living wage and shit. And the Uber guys they're just like, all right, cool. Like, we're going to continue to do that. Walk out on them. The fuck you need their, I don't know how much you make an hour. $7 or something an hour?
It
Something
depends
like that.
on the area and what time you drive and all that shit.
It just fucks me up.
And it sounds to me like the country is saying, stop having kids if you can't afford it. We're not going to give you this fucking free shit just so you can have a kid. Choose to not have one.
Yeah, but
Now-
also then what about everything else? Not all of it's about kids.
I know. I'm just saying in regards to the paid paternity leave.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I
Like,
gotcha.
it's like, yeah, they're not, other countries are giving you this shit because they kind of want to have that going on. But in America, if they're not giving it to you, the government is saying, look, stop having fucking kids. If you want to have one, do it on your own time.
Right.
We're not helping you with that. But it also seems weird because they're all like, oh, a family of 4, a man and a woman with 2 kids.
Kristen,
Can't have it both ways.
how do you feel about having? Are you planning to have a kid eventually, or?
I still don't know. I'm happy with my dog and cats right now, but
Because they're so great.
You?
Yeah.
No.
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 Your kids probably won't poop on the corner, though.
yeah, I can't put them outside to just go take a shit.
Yes. They might poop in the corner. I've known kids to shit
they-
on the floor.
I think
Yeah.
it's unfair that you have to weigh the option of reproducing because you don't make a living wage or whatever. Like, and I know like he said something that the saying that like the American dream, you pull yourself up by the bootstraps and you make something from nothing, and that's what we do. It's like literally the saying is impossible. You can't pull yourself up by your own bootstraps.
I disagree with that
Faceplant.
because the idea that people have of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps is not getting a mass-produced like line job that's provided by somebody else. The
Right.
idea of pulling yourself up by your bootstraps is you pave your own way.
Yeah.
You don't try to work at Target your whole fucking life.
Absolutely. I agree with that for sure.
So
Yeah.
people need to stop putting the onus on the goddamn companies
Yeah.
and thinking, oh, how can I do this?
Right.
Yeah.
You got to go and like create your own path, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stop being a fucking follower and expecting to have everything that the elites have.
Yeah.
If you want good shit,
Right.
do shit of value.
I work at Bradley's. Why don't I have a mansion?
Right? You forgot my fucking barbecue sauce, bitch.
I think too, as Americans, you have to change your definition of what your happiness is, what a good amount of money is, what a nice enough house is, what a good enough car is, because so much of us want just like we want the best, and like even when we get the best, it's not good enough. We have to have more. They were like when we first came over and settled in the Americas, like. We looked at this vast amount of land, and when we found paradise, guess what we did? We went to look for
We
more
took it.
paradise. Like, we fucking took it and wanted more. Like, we just wanted to keep looking for another paradise. You know what I mean? Nothing's ever good, and it's never has since the beginning of the United States of America. It's never been good enough. We
That
just
seems
want
to be
more.
the nature of existence, though.
Not for everybody, though, right?
I don't know. I mean, like existence itself, with like
Oh.
evolution and constant change for the better and more and all this stuff. just never gonna get to a point where it's like, okay, we're done. We're completely happy now. So if change is always happening, then struggle is always happening, and it's just gonna be garbage, but cool. There's a balance. You got to get on the right side.
I guess so. I mean, I don't know. I just watched a video where this guy like programmed a robot to chainsaw a dog in a block of wood. And I was like, if he could do that.
How'd
Like
they get
the-
the dog
like the
into
shape.
the
Where are
wood?
we going?
Before
Like
they chop
carving
it in
ice
half.
with a chainsaw.
So mean. Was this dog mean?
But I mean, if
He
that's
deserved
possible, like, how do you? Even the programmer to the computer that made that work. I mean, eventually they'll make a program that gets rid of the programmer. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so where do you position yourself to be viable when all this shit like becomes automated? Like, where do you place yourself to continue to live? Because when there's no jobs, because they're all taken by AI programs and robots, like, which they're rapidly becoming that.
Yeah.
I think a lot some stuff that I find beneficial anyways, there's a lot of emphasis presently on like using your skills and what you can do. This like Etsy is huge. You can make your own shit and sell it, and oh crap, a lot of people really enjoy getting stuff that's made by someone's hands.
It's made with love.
Yeah. And I think that's at least something positive presently. And
Yeah.
people can just focus on what they like to do and using those skills and then monetizing.
It's like,
I mean, yeah, not everyone will do it, but, you know.
right? Is there any, like, the transition into that is like whenever America, like the Industrial Revolution kind of came in, and everybody's like, why can't I just trap stuff and sell skins?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to move with the times, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's always changing. So if you had to say it came down to where robots did everything and
choose
Etsy was
that.
the only website, what would you make and sell?
God.
Right, it's a difficult question.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
And that's
I don't have any marketable skills.
and see, that's to assume also that like all materials that you would need would still be available. It's not going to be like everything's fucked. You have to make your own resin before you can make your own crafts. Like,
You go tap a tree.
yeah.
Really, the only thing I can even remotely remember how to make is like shorts. So I would just sew a bunch of boxers for
How
everybody.
Cute. I love that. I'd
It
buy
might
your
come
boxer
down
shorts.
to that where people, they buy mass-produced beer and shit, and a lot of those like microbreweries where it's very close-knit, and you get a product that somebody made. Like, we're real big into that now, and maybe that's what it'll come down to. They're like, I want all my clothes handmade, and I want all my products to come from a
Hell
person
yeah.
who designed them themselves and stuff. Maybe that's where you need to position yourself to make, be that creative. But like, you know what I mean? Like, because it's going to come down to that. Because look at the bullshit you get now. It's all throwawayable. Like, you can just throw this shit away and buy another one.
Yeah.
Right? That's what they want you to do. Nobody
It'll
fixes
last
anything.
6 months. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Amazon and all these warranty companies, they suck dick at everything. So, I mean, you're always just spending out money, and that's where they get the revenue. I get it. It's where profit comes from. But they'll want something that's handmade, crafted, really good. And I don't feel like a robot can put as much craft into a product.
And like instead of going to like IKEA and getting your little like plywood shit,
Yeah.
like maybe some mahogany.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, some cedar some fucking cedar.
Hell yeah.
Fucking just crafted with designs that go back to when they used to make crown molding by hand.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
give me some crown molding
What
by
would
That's the
hand.
you
kind of
make?
shit you'll find in Karen's house, though.
The crown molding. Okay.
Fancy shit.
Yeah. What would you make?
My go-to would just be more plants because,
That's
during
exactly
the
what I
pandemic, the plants have kind of exploded in there. Now they're
Yeah.
ridiculously expensive, but I would like to think like something crafty,
Yeah.
or I would go into like, I don't know, some weird like niche fetishy thing that I could sell on the internet.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Ooh, what a good idea. You could just sell all your underwear.
Yeah.
Ideal only in squid butt plugs.
You could like propagate all your own plants, sell them, and then make cute little pots
Yeah.
that they come in.
Yeah.
That'd be
Put a color
awesome.
on them, you know,
Yeah.
make it cute.
Oh, I really want to make like plant pots. I almost said plant plots.
What would you
Pepper.
pick with your goddamn question?
Right now, I'm totally obsessed with making resin things. I really enjoy actually doing it. I'd have to get a lot better because I feel like maybe I could just sell like a fuck ton of coasters and like little necklaces, but like people they make this pretty and like tabletops and floors, and there's so much you can do. There's definitely a lot of area that I could branch out into.
You could
so
do like
maybe resin.
a cover for the keys of the piano.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Anyway, anytime somebody says resin, I always just think about getting high without weed.
I guess I could call it like resin crafts.
Yeah.
It might help. I don't know. But other than that, I mean, I've made jewelry forever, but it feels like a hassle most of the time whenever I go to do it. Like I have to really, it has to be for someone's like birthday, or it has to be through Etsy that somebody bought something.
I have to be like struck by the mood, like I want to make jewelry right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that mood happens like once a year. What would you do? Would you continue
I would do
doing
a lot of stuff. Yeah. I think that's what the freedom of having things automated would do for people, and especially they would have to like supplement people's income as far as that's concerned. So we would have to move into a space where universal income would be like a thing, right? Or not. I don't know, because they're so corrupt they wouldn't give a fuck. The ones that work are good. The others would die. I don't know how they're going to do it. Right. But I feel like it will open the door for a lot of people. Even the pandemic came, people were at home. For the people that were lucky enough that they could take time off and be fine,
right,
and then create things. I mean, there was a lot of good shit that came out of the pandemic. You know what I mean? So I think it'll free up a lot. I think a lot of people will be surprised at what they can actually create and do when they're mindlessly sitting at home because a robot's doing their job now. You know what I mean? You'll come up with some crazy shit.
Fucking anything.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you can continue doing like electricity and shit, but you can fucking make shit out of shit. Like I don't.
I heard I worked for this old gentleman that has been in the business market and a business lawyer for years and for a very long time, and he deals with a lot of other businesses, and a lot of businesses are going to like a green tax, right? So you can't publicly trade your company on the market if you don't have this certain rating being a green company, which is great. He was mad at it, of course, because he's a part of this conservative group of people that are still want coal or whatever. I don't know what they want. You know, they don't want to change anything. They don't want fucking shit changed. And they've been doing it one way, but when it comes down to it, yeah, we need that tax. We need you not to make money or benefit unless you're going to hop on board with being green and change the world. Like, bottom line, get the fuck out. And then he turned to me, he was like, you're safe, but a lot of these, like, pipe fitters, they've been doing the same way forever. But electric, I mean, you need it. Like, there's no way around it. Like, pipe fitters, they can find a way to make that green. They can find, but a lot of these companies are going to go out of business. But he looked at me, he's like, you'll be fine. And I'm like, I'm trying to think, like, maybe I won't. Maybe there'll come a day where I have to be green in a certain way and change the way I've done things for the last 14 years. You know what I mean?
I mean, you might have to learn like a new way of wiring something, but I feel like your job will essentially be the same.
Yeah. I watched a thing the other day where they're, I forgot what location it was, but they were transferring electrical energy, which has been a thing for a very long time, but I guess nobody has moved forward to it, but Tesla proposed it a long time ago, but they're actually putting it into work now where they're actually transporting energy through the atmosphere and then lighting stuff up. And I forgot the distance that they made it so far, but it's on the rise. So hopefully eventually we can have wireless, which we should have already had, because all these fucking power lines, get rid of all that useless bullshit.
Yeah.
I saw a thing about Disney where they were talking about how like all the power lines are like underground and shit. I never really thought about that, and then I started to notice the power lines around. I was like, this is hideous.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
Absolutely.
dude. If you looked at it, like if you could see all the power grid and the lines and everything from a satellite view, it would look fucking insane because there's so many. Everything's wired, and it's such an old way to do things. We know that we can transport energies at high frequencies and then step it down once it gets into your home. And then in your home, it's super easy to transfer energy wirelessly. You see it with the wireless phone chargers and stuff. That's a very small ideal, but they can do it with your appliances. They're all DC appliances. You know, it doesn't take much to transfer DC wirelessly, but I don't know. Hopefully we move into that. And then that would be green. You get rid of all these fucking wires, copper mining, all that shit. Get rid of it.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I can get it. You want me to get it? Fine, I'll get it anyway. I don't know that. I like the idea of having to rely on your own skills, and
It would weed out a lot.
I mean, you definitely if you're not particularly crafty, you can find something that you get to explore, like what you're good at, what you like, and all that shit. You never know.
Yeah, there are all kinds of people that don't like exploring. Though.
Mm-hmm. I definitely
And
don't.
whenever you said it'll weed them out, what did you mean by that?
I feel like the people that aren't willing to change, the people that are just stuck in their ways, the people that don't want to make industry green, the people, all that shit, and it'll weed out the weak. Even if I'm a part of that group, so be it. I mean, I should be killed off too. If you're not a part of, if you don't want to fix this world, the fuck out.
Isn't that kind of what the government's doing?
Yeah, they can get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Probably.
And yet we're raging against that.
They can
I just
go.
want to be the one that sets it into motion.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which makes me know better than the
And-
people that we hate. So
How would you do that? No, I'm joking.
a Holocaust.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. As long as we're
Seems
on the
efficient.
same page.
Seems efficient.
That's awesome.
Has anybody watched the Minnesota, like the trial? Or is it Minneapolis?
It's Minneapolis.
Yeah,
but
well,
I
it's
mean,
in
it's
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're correct.
I don't know. I didn't know where they
No.
were with that. Okay, cool.
I saw that like they're doing shit, but I don't know what they're doing.
I think it's almost done.
All I care about is the result.
Okay,
I,
if you were to be on the jury,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And the main guy, the three
What's his name?
others.
Chauvin? I don't know
Yeah,
how
the
you
three
say it.
others that are on trial, or the
Yeah.
4 others that were there.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a thought on them just yet. But
Well,
the
this is the
main
time
guy,
to make an example.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think they will there and
Of
not
course
drop
they
the ball
won't.
like they did in
Oh,
Louisville?
they'll drop it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely bullshit because at least the main dude, he needs to,
Yeah.
he needs to be charged and
Skinned
sent
alive.
away. Yeah,
I'd
we
like
could
them
definitely-
to put their like the pictures side by side. You know, the smug one when he's like kneeling with his hands in his pocket. That smug one, and then when they like hopefully give him life for one of the murder charges that he has. He had like 3 of
He
them.
has first degree murder, second degree murder, and some
He's getting
manslaughter.
one of them.
Yeah.
He has to, right?
I would be
Like-
You would
all
hope so.
fucking
Well, he'll get
3.
manslaughter, and then he'll be on parole. What is that? What is that thing?
Parole, you're right.
Yeah.
Is it parole?
Or
Okay.
probation. but,
Probation, that's
yeah.
the one.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Be on
he'll be on
probation
that
for
shit.
20 years.
Yeah.
That'd be some bullshit.
Yeah.
That
Well,
motherfucker better do jail time.
And I think somebody, they were saying, we were really worried, like, when it comes down to business, there's a lot of cops that were like, well, we're gonna walk out. Like, if it becomes this riot and people get crazy and stuff, like it probably will if they acquit or don't give the verdict that the people want. I think that it is gonna get wild, right? And let's say the cops do walk out. I mean, you can't
Like,
blame these people for wanting to do it. And he was, people were like, well, there has to be somebody that has to bring order to it. And I was like, they are, because we are a police-run country. They'll bring the military in and they'll stop it. But that's wrong as well, because these people deserve to be heard and they deserve to have the outcome that they want. Because if it's a jury of your peers, we're here waiting. Like, you know what I
Well,
mean?
if it's a jury of the peers and they find him not guilty and let him go, then that's what happened, because they're peers too.
I think too that's where like watching the actual trial and hearing all the evidence, because I mean we see a video and it seems clear cut. It seems like, from my perspective, he murdered him, but
All
I
you need
wasn't
is the
there.
video.
I haven't heard any of the other evidence. I mean, and if you go with our system, you have to have reasonable doubt to not convict. Maybe there's reasonable doubt. Maybe, I mean, I don't know. I'm just being open-minded.
Right.
I feel like the dude should fucking go to
Well, I
prison,
feel like
but
it's good that you're being open-minded, but I feel like if you have a video of the moment when the guy died, what
That's
else do
pretty
you
much,
need?
yeah.
Right.
I agree. Like, even everything leading up to that is supposed to be a peaceful, like, even like, I've seen cops get the shit beat out of them, and still they peacefully detain somebody, or somebody comes in like a mass shooter, and they peacefully
they walk out the front
detain.
door with
yeah.
them.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me this
They don't stand on
one.
his neck.
Yeah.
a meal.
If the official story of
crazy.
9/11 can be that a plane flew into the Pentagon, but you get the Pentagon in the sky and then the Pentagon in an explosion, but you see nothing.
Right.
If you can watch the dude's life leave his body,
Yeah.
the motherfucker on his neck.
It's the
probably the
guilty
one.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably the cause
Yeah.
of death, I would say.
But also I had the thought of, you're like, oh, give the people what they want. But yeah, but at the same time, I think the people are stupid. Mm-hmm. The
So-
masses
some of 'em.
ruled by emotion. So, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe don't give them what they want, but I agree with them.
Well,
Yeah.
Am I the people? Am I
Are
stupid?
you, then you got to question your whole
Probably.
being. Yeah.
well, and that's where, seeing all the evidence comes into play. I mean,
Yeah.
you get to see all of it. It kind of takes that emotion out of it a little bit. You see both sides and see how it goes and make a decision from there.
I seriously thought it would get crazier in Louisville when that
I did
verdict
too.
was handed down, and it was pretty. And maybe they'll surprise the shit out of you. You're gonna get more protests because they haven't ended here. Like maybe it's not what you think it is. Like maybe you don't have to put barbed wire around the courthouse because you know you're gonna do some fucked up shit. You know you're gonna fucking put some shit under it. I feel like if you barricade a courthouse and you put barbed wire fences around it, like you fucking know some
Right.
shit's gonna happen. Like
Yeah.
you know you're
Yeah.
doing some shady shit.
Well, even if it's not shady shit, what if it's just technically right according to the legal system?
Yeah, and people
Yeah.
just don't like it.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, we have the system in place. If we forsake it and do what's right, then our whole system's in shambles. And we have to rebuild it. And I don't want to rebuild it.
Yeah, well, and then, like, my God, what that door would open up is just
Yeah.
crazy. It would just make it a
But then
a
it's one of those
mess,
things,
but-
like if you're living your life methed out for 3 years, and it's like, I have to stop meth before it gets any better. I don't know.
right.
Ride this wave out.
Meth is really good.
It's so good.
The integrity of this meth.
That's awesome.
I don't fear it though, man. I'll tell you what
No,
they
you
can
live in a
rebuild.
different state.
How about they rebuild this? How about they hand down a fucked up verdict
Yeah.
and then the people burn the courthouse down? Not saying they should. Not saying that it's gonna happen.
Let's just say, what
if you're listening, FBI, I'm just saying, what if this was to happen?
Sound like Jerry
Hypothetically.
Seinfeld.
And then all those assholes that swept everything under the rug, they have to rebuild the courthouse, and then it gets burned down again.
And you can't use Mexicans.
Slave labor.
Yeah, 'cause-
I watched a YouTube video before I came over about like 10 historical things that we've been believing that are stupid and wrong.
Yeah.
It's like the pyramids weren't built by slaves.
Yeah.
They were built by just people that
People
did it
that
People that
willingly.
willingly.
wanted pyramids.
And then,
Yeah.
and then they were just buried like next to the pyramid. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, they were. It said they were eating meat.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's very
They're willing
specific.
participants in because they
Yeah.
believed in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've read that somewhere, and I thought that was interesting. Like we viewed it as like, oh yeah, they're whipping them while they're going up the
Right.
fucking tall hill and shit.
Yeah, maybe that's just a way that we justify slavery here. It's like, oh,
Justify like
look,
suffering.
yeah, look
Yeah.
what they got done over there with slaves and their fucking whips. We could do it
They're
here.
fucking whips.
And they make you believe that this just is how things have to progress.
Yeah, they did
People
it
have to
then.
suffer.
But then if that's the case, then we need to try to get pedophilia to be a normal thing.
Oh, they're trying for this
Dude,
shit.
there's people really trying for that. Like,
Oh, well,
actually having
maybe don't do
conferences
that.
and shit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, how can you feel right about yourself? Like,
Conferences.
how can you do it?
They keep comparing it to like
He said it in the ledger.
people being gay and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like you can consent to having sex with somebody, but a kid,
Yeah.
no.
Right.
And like
They
if a
don't know
dog comes
anything.
up and humps your leg, you have a right to fuck that dog.
If you even take all the wrongness out of it when it comes down to it, I don't think you can willingly consent until you're fully developed, which brings in the question as far as like when the age of consent is like 16 or 18, depending where you're at.
Right.
You're not fully developed until you're 25.
Right.
And then,
Yeah.
I mean, some people until you're 25. I think women, they mature a lot quicker than we do.
Sure.
But
So the whole idea of age of consent is just absurd.
mm,
Because I mean, whenever I was 12, I was like, man, if a hot chick wants to fuck me, I'm on
doing
that.
Yeah.
yeah.
And to the system, I'm not in any position to make that call, but I'll consent. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
get that.
I don't know, and that's something too that is kind of a thing when you tell somebody it's forbidden, like a consent age. They're like, well, I want to go below that. Just because you tell me it's wrong, I want that, right?
Right.
So I guess some plays into that, but you can't normalize pedophilia. And then they'll have the argument, well, in medieval times, that people had 13, 12, 11-year-old wives and whatever, and it was fine to have sex with a young boy and all that. I'm
But
like,
was it fine?
I was like, yeah, was it, or was it still wrong? They just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was, or we wouldn't have this great society that we have.
Let's bring in the argument of the devil's advocate, right? Does a kid feel like it's wrong because the people make the kid feel like a victim, or does the kid honestly feel that it's wrong that an older person is touching them or whatever? Like that's what makes me like a rape victim. No, not a rape victim. What's a better point for this? But anyway, like when you feel like a victim, when you feel like you've been victimized, is it because the people around you told you it was wrong, or is it because you actually feel victimized in that sense?
Well, I mean, it could be the idea that, like, let's say you're a kid and you consent to bang this dude, and then like you're cool with it. You're like, hell yeah, I got mine. And then like three months later, everybody's like, why did you do this? What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's like, it kind of relates to the idea of like Trump being president. I didn't give a shit, but I wanted all the people that hated it to shut the fuck up. So I was like, okay, get this guy out, Yeah. So, yeah, as a kid, it's like, oh yeah, let me get that. Ooh, my life sucks now because everybody's mad at my decision.
I watched 2 episodes where like a 13, 14-year-old boy, I think one of them was 15, like having sex with the teacher and then all that, was bragging about it to his friends. The friends told the parents, and the parents victimized the kid, right?
Yeah.
And in general, I guess we view that differently, but I know that some sexual experiences in my younger age, as I've gotten older, I realized that it fucked me up psychologically, like because I was too young to be in that situation, and it screwed up relationships after that because of what that built, I guess, the foundation that laid.
How do you know that it did, though, instead of just being young and young relationships get ruined?
Just because, like, the way I viewed love, the way I viewed intimacy, the way I viewed how I interact with a woman, how she interacts with me, and is it, always judging myself, insecurities, we need to be having sex all the time. Like, it changes your view of it, and then as you get older, you learn that, you can process things better, and you can look at them unemotionally and unbiasedly.
Well, I'm just thinking in terms of, like, I had a stupid, unhealthy perspective of what makes a good relationship until I was well into my 30s.
Right.
And I didn't have sex until I was 19.
Right.
So, it's just, I don't know how to determine what is the result of an experience like that and what is just, you're young and you're stupid.
I think it's just how you feel about the situation. Like, it's a personal person basis for sure. Like, I feel that way just because I know that personally I feel like it fucked me up psychologically. Not like I'm blaming something for it, but I just know that it played into my insecurities for sure, without a doubt. But yeah, I think it's person to person. It's not, you know what I mean? So.
It's definitely a personal thing. Like if it makes you not feel good about yourself and your decisions and stuff, like for sure, then that's not acceptable. But
so then if it's just person to person, shouldn't we just completely get rid of any societal regulation of it?
I was gonna say that's how it's hard with like the legality of it because there's so many gray areas.
Yeah.
Right? Because what's fucked up to you may not be fucked up to me,
right?
And vice versa.
Yeah.
You touch couch dick, I wouldn't do that again.
It's like I only did it once.
Yeah. Once is enough for me, but the idea remains. How do you determine?
Some of it though. So, like, rape used to not be, like, a thing. And you could do whatever you want. Women didn't matter. And if you went to the cops after being sexually assaulted, they didn't listen. They didn't care. And
Even
a lot of
now
times...
it's still kind of like that.
Yeah, hell yeah. And I think with, like, the legality part of it, you have it in place because it's at least enough of an issue to get important people talking about it.
Right.
And, there are people who, they don't want this shit to occur. How can we help prevent it from happening? And which I don't know. I'm an idiot. So
whenever people bring up the idea of rape, like it's annoying because it fits into that gray area of the the legal system because you have to have evidence. If there's reasonable doubt, if you didn't go get your rape kit done, and get your shit tested and all that crap, you don't have video of it. If you don't have evidence, you can't just convict a dude.
Right.
And we've seen how it goes wrong whenever dudes get convicted and then it comes out years later they didn't do it.
Didn't do it, yeah.
So
a lot of it relies on like everything happening perfectly. Like you get your rape kit done, you have all of this evidence, and,
and then,
unfortunately, that's not how it works.
yeah, even then they don't always go through them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we got thousands just waiting to be gone through.
Hanging out in our storage shed.
Every state has
Rating.
thousands of rape kits sitting in the shed. Like, it's nuts.
I feel like they should just burn them. And say, okay, let's start over. From this point,
Yeah.
Hell
and like
yeah.
have commercials instead of like selling cars.
Commercials.
Say like, look, ladies, if you get raped, come on down to a Big Lou's Rape Kit
Just
Emporium.
imagine like a used car
Yeah.
Yeah,
salesman.
dude. Come on on.
We got
Come
them
on
better and
down.
cheaper than
Wildly
anybody.
waiting guys.
Planned Parenthood, my ass. Come on down.
This is a beautiful idea. Let's do this.
There
We
we
should
go.
definitely start it.
That would be good, and maybe that should be included in like sex ed stuff.
Can we call it Uncle Joe's Rape Kit Emporium?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because Uncle Joe, yeah, I want him to do my rape kit.
No. I'll wait for Uncle Joe. I don't.
I know.
I don't want
know
Brad
who
over
Steve
there.
is. I don't. Yeah.
I could both pick bro names. Brad and Steve got fired this week from the Rape Emporium.
Uncle Joe's the remaining guy. Poor thing. Which you don't want to participate in this conversation?
Oh no, I was just letting y'all go.
No, I have nothing to add to that.
Yeah,
Oh goodness.
you had it built in your head, so I was just letting it happen,
Yeah.
letting it come to fruition.
It was beautiful.
I don't know. It really trips me out that they're trying to put it on the same lines of your sexual orientation or like they were born that way or whatever, and then and whether that is true or not, and whether it's the environment around them and stuff, like it's still I view it as wrong. Most people do, and that's what I tell Sarah. It's like, but do I only view it as wrong because I've always been told that, or is it like I don't know? But inside, like when I really think about it, I'm like, no, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't believe that they're actually like wherever these places are that are actually allowing these conferences and these people to get up and talk, and like it's crazy. And you think that the vast majority would be male, but there are females that are fighting, and it makes you wonder, like, are they in a relationship with a pedophile and they're normalizing it because they're like, well, I love the guy, and then I'm not saying that they're manipulative or manipulated in any sense. I'm just saying that kind of sometimes happens, and the wife knows, but you would think the vast majority would be male that would be fighting the cause. But you see females get up there and they're like, this is a part of who they are,
Well, I
and that
feel
we
like-
shouldn't blame them. And I'm like, what time period are we in?
Unless the chick is on a leash and like being held at gunpoint, like we should listen to what she's saying.
Well,
It's like I'm happy with this 40-year-old man and I'm 16. You know, this is great. I didn't have a real dad.
right. I think part of the issue, which I don't want to like stand up for pedophiles because I personally don't think that it should be a thing.
But Jeepers Creepers was an amazing movie.
God, now all I can think about is Jeepers Creepers. Like objectively, maybe you should hear people out. I mean, like, why do we as a society say that it's wrong when at one time it wasn't?
I'd be
if you're
okay
gonna-
listening and like hearing it out and hearing that side of the story, because it'd be a hypocrite if not.
Right.
But I have my base. It definitely won't be an unbiased listen. I'll listen to your side and why you think it's fucking right. But like to listen to that side, also you have to like devise a plan
Yeah.
to help this person realize that this isn't right. I don't know though. Maybe
Well,
I
I
don't.
also feel like it would be different if maybe like pedophiles didn't only want to fuck kids of a certain age. If they were like, I've had relationships with adults and I dated this 15-year-old girl and you never come across one that was like that ever.
Yeah.
Nope, they all fuck 8-year-olds. It's ridiculous. Like, this is a problem.
My 25-year-old girlfriend helped me scoop them up.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, and the 15-year-old is kind of a gray area, and like I said, females generally mature quicker than males do, and I could kind of see that, right? As a 15-year-old, and then the male, let's say the male is 25, let's say that, right? And they get into it, and she's very mature for her age, and the male, I mean, let's say he's a virgin, and he's never been with a relationship, but she's very whatever, and they actually do fall in love, and that happens because 15, I was having sex when I was the end of my 13-year-old, beginning when I was 14.
Right.
So that was young, and I knew what I was doing, and I knew the consequences of what I was doing as far as like baby, stuff like that, and I knew how to protect myself. But, you know, that's the gray area. But when you're talking about like 8, 5, all right, bro, like that's what I'm getting at. It's like that portion of it. Now, if you say pedophile and the fact that it was like right on that borderline and questionable, the
I
parents
guess
were just
that's
mad.
technically not a pedophile,
Right,
though.
the legal definition is like prepubescent.
Yeah, so for sure.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
it. You talked
So-
to me about that. Yeah.
With that, I mean, if they just want to like change the age of legal consent to like 16, I mean, you'd knock some of that statutory rape stuff out. But then, I mean, you're opening people up to bigger issues of maybe they're in relationships that they don't want to be in and they can't get out of, and legally it's
yeah.
okay.
Now legally it's yep.
Yeah.
I can see that too. Yeah, because you have a lot of families that's a forced thing, and yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like nothing in this world is black and white, and it gets scary when people are like trying to fight for something that is obviously wrong.
Yeah.
That's one of those things that I'm glad I don't have to make the decisions on.
No.
Well,
I mean, I guess
and
if so, I would just leave it the way it is.
and
Like,
it's-
don't fuck kids.
in
I
a
don't-
time of in a time of like cancel culture and being just okay with everything, because nobody wants to step on anybody's toes anymore. Everybody wants to be okay, and everybody wants to like not like buck the system. Yeah, it makes you worried that like some shit like that's gonna go on and pass, and then we're gonna be in this worse situation for
Yeah.
it. When we could have just spoke out in the beginning and not feared, losing everything we, own because we said something off color to somebody that was
Or
a
because we
pedophile or
had
something.
this conversation.
Yeah.
And, like, I can't imagine if we had a lot of viewers and, like, people who don't know us.
We'd
and
immediately lose a few 100,000.
I mean, some crazy shit could happen. We could be assaulted walking down the street because we're just, objectively talking about pedophilia. Like,
Put it
it's
in
absurd.
perspective. If you say so, like it could be this podcast 10 years from now when all that shit's legal and all that.
Oh,
You
yeah.
lose it. Say you make money off the podcast, if you could lose everything.
Everything, yeah.
John Snyder, I don't even think said it directly to somebody. Just said that somebody said that back in the day. He lost everything.
Yeah.
They took his name off everything. I don't know the guy. He might be a huge racist. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying for what they took everything from him for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then
They
like
don't get
Paula
back the
Deen.
name John, though. Still
No.
Papa John. Coward bastards. Strip the man
Papa
of
Uncle
everything.
Toad.
Always a full circle.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? 'Cause, like down the line, if it's okay, then you have to look back. I mean, I'm sure the N-word was super okay back in the day, but these people who have made a life and stuff, not saying it's right. I'm just saying that for something that was widely used and they were too ignorant to know any better, you get down the line and it's not okay anymore, and they're shutting people down. Paula Deen loses everything because she said she said it back in the day. Didn't even say it openly, just said it back in the day.
They didn't
She
know
lost
any
everything.
better. Come on.
But there's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of people,
Well-
and they want to shut you down because they want you to be just not. In that case, I'm just saying in cancel culture, they want to shut things down because they want you to be as miserable as they are. When it comes down to it, I feel like
Everyone just wants to feel like they're fucking important and
Fighting a fight.
Like,
Look at me.
I'm the one who took that down. It's like,
yep.
okay.
Yeah, great. Now I'm going to come burn your house down.
Watch
Man,
me.
if we ever get rich off of this shit and somebody causes us to I'm gonna do like with a Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where they go after all the people that talk shit about him in the chat rooms and shit. Like, yeah,
Oh, what a good
kicking
idea.
faces.
But I mean, that's society progresses, and that's what happens. Like you know, with everything that we've said that like was once okay is now not okay, and you know, you can get on board or stay off board. I mean, you don't have to.
Everything is recorded or everything is written
Yeah.
down, and so you can go back to 2009 and see somebody wrote some fucked up shit.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
you know.
Yeah, that's what's. I mean, it's scary, and it's scary for a lot of people because you don't really. There's things that are like hard and fast, like the N word. I wouldn't say that if I was you. I wouldn't chastise anybody for being
Read
of
the
a
room,
sexual
you know?
orientation, other than a pedophile. I mean, that one hasn't hit the books yet.
Better
But
not.
there's things like that, like I think a lot of people just don't know what they can and can't say. When I'm unbiased to my customers, it's like there's a lot of things I don't say. Just because I'm working it out in my head, it doesn't even have to be like racial or political or religious. It
You
doesn't
kinda
do none of that.
Censor yourself a little bit, so you.
People are scared, man,
yeah,
to say anything
speak like a
openly.
human.
Comedians aren't even doing comedy anymore.
Thing
They're
of
just
the-
like,
of the stuff where it's like, everybody's like, oh, history repeats itself, But I forget the thing where it's like the dude. I looked up his name. George Santayana. I don't know. He was a guy. They said those who don't know history are destined to repeat it.
Yeah.
So this idea of like erasing shit that we don't agree with, they're like, oh, I don't want to look at things through the racist lens or this stuff. It's like you're part of the fucking problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
like, yeah, let's not
that's
celebrate
icky.
it,
I don't want to
but
talk about it.
Leave it. Otherwise, it's just going to happen again, and it's probably going to be worse.
Hell yeah.
I mean, not to like, oh, it's going to get worse, but it probably will.
It's probably good that we're like cringing at like Disney and having
Absolutely.
racist things
Yeah.
portrayed in their like cartons.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
that's just how it goes. Look how crappy we were in the past.
Yeah.
Do you want to be like that
We're
in the
so
future?
much better now.
The
We
thing
were
that
like that.
the thing that drives me crazy is the Gilmore Girls. I've read so much shit about Gilmore Girls and how they're just insensitive to Asians and to homosexuals. I can't think of anything, but they're just so insensitive to everything and to women in general, and the fact that they eat so much. Like what are you talking? This is one of the most wholesome shows I've ever seen. Like, do you not understand like what comedy is meant to be and just storyline? It's just telling a story. You
Quit
don't have to fucking
basing,
take everything personally.
Right.
Quit basing your body image on fiction.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
think that's the problem though. A lot of people, all people take everything personal because, it's their story. Like they don't see anybody. It's just like shitty drivers or people that cut you off or, people that want to be first in line and they're mad that they have to wear a mask. It's their story. Like
Yeah.
they're living they're the main character and all of us we're just extras in their movie and it's all about them. Like it's just how people are. And I think that's where when they're weeding out the weak, when the
Weak weed.
oceans rise and all that shit, like they're gonna die off. And it's all there is to it. I mean, people who can't fend for themselves are gonna die off.
Yeah.
And if I'm one of them, like maybe I'll last a week longer than that guy. But
You pointed at me, bitch.
no, I'm saying like
He's
that
lasted a
guy.
month longer than you.
the
at
guy
least.
that cuts me off, the guy that whatever is the star of his own movie shit. Like even if I'd only last a week, well, that's all I was worth. Like, that's cool. I'll die. Like, if it's for the betterment of everything, if I have to go, I
Right.
gotta go. Like, you know what I mean? If I'm part of the problem, send me out the door. I don't give a shit.
The idea of the betterment of everything. If it's me or the betterment of everything, it's me, buddy.
That's
Fuck
right.
everybody else.
I'm willing to take the bullet, man. I don't know. It bugs me out, and it bugs me that like each fight seems similar, and then everybody has some shit to say about everybody else's fight. Just like, and I only base this because I know that like I know people on both sides personally, like Black Lives Matter and then the Capitol riots. But if you talk to both individual groups, they both hate each other.
Oh yeah. Well, and
And they're
without
both-
even knowing.
I know.
Yeah.
They
You
hate
know,
the
the people,
extremes or
Yeah.
some
Absolutely.
ideas that
Yeah.
some jackass
But
voiced.
they're literally, if you put them side by side, the news reports side by side, they are portrayed exactly the same. They rioted at the Capitol. These people rioted in their hometowns to get a better way. They wanted a better way. They fought for it. Some people rioted. Some people fuck shit up. And then you'll hear the Trump supporter talk shit about Black Lives Matter. And we have to have police to stop the rioting and stuff. Well, what the fuck did you all,
Right, seriously,
even if it
yeah.
wasn't you,
right?
they did it. Like, all Black Lives Matter don't fucking riot, and
Absolutely.
and they hate each other. And I'm sure there's other groups that do the same thing, and it's like it's all the same fight. Not same fight. Your fight matters. I'm saying there's
Yeah.
Everything's based in fear. I mean, everybody's
Absolutely.
afraid that like this other group is gonna like impact me and that my life's gonna end because whatever they did.
Absolutely.
Instead of just
Yeah.
basing it on people that you actually know.
Yeah.
It's like if you're like, hey, what black people do I know? Are they cool? Huh? Yeah, they're cool. Hey, well, what rednecks do I know? Are they cool? Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, great. That's
it
all
makes
that
you
matters.
wonder where these people find like the problems, because I deal with a lot of people on a day. I come in contact with a lot of people, all the Lowe's I go to, all my customers, and not once have I ever been in these situations that get recorded or seen these situations. Where are they recording
Love
this
to
shit
see
at?
one
I
of these
saw one.
situations. Yeah.
Did you?
Oh, it was glorious.
Oh man, tell us about it.
I feel like I told it, but it was in Walmart, and this white dude was yelling the N-word at this black dude. Mm-hmm. And then, it escalated, and they started yelling shit, and then they got dragged out. But, yeah, it was very, like, YouTube-ish.
Oh
It
yeah.
was like, man, that shit never happens. Hey, it happened!
Did you record it?
No.
You definitely should.
That
have.
was before I had my cool phone. I was still in the age of, if you want to get a hold of me, you can't.
You better be at Walmart when I am.
Yeah.
So.
It was before I wanted to play games in my phone.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But it does baffle me that all the fights are generally fought the same, but everybody hates each other's group. It's just like when they divide each other religiously or in sex, race, all that shit. Like we're all like when it comes down to it, you're all the same.
The
Can we all
division
just
is the
hate
problem.
Irish?
Yeah.
The Irish.
Can we
First
just
of all,
get
she
on
said the
same
IRS.
boat? No. No, they serve a purpose. let's just join together against the Irish.
Every time I've ever called them, they've been very helpful.
And they take for fucking ever.
Yeah, that's
God.
okay though.
Oh, I hate government bodies.
Yeah.
They take forever.
Government bodies.
Except Susan.
Her body is banging. Sup?
No, I don't know.
You know.
I don't know.
What do you know?
Come on, man. Look at you. You know. I know you know. She knows. She knows. She's asleep and she knows. She's been over there just chilling. Yeah.
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 All right,
We're
man.
not eating anything.
No, I know. We're gonna eat the air though.
We got leftovers.
No.
No, but we thank you so much for coming out again. Sorry, I know it's a long drive and it's on back roads and shit. So
It's not that far.
It's that far.
How long did it take you to get here?
Waze said 35 minutes.
So it seems pretty far for some people.
It took
You
me
never
about
know.
30, 35 minutes. I do it every fucking week. Fuck her. She's done it
But it was
2-3
worse for me,
times.
okay?
Because
No,
Asian
but-
women can't drive.
Exactly.
No, but yeah, if you made it this far, hour and a half in, thank you so much for viewing the podcast.
Oh, hey guys.
Leave a shitty comment like that other person or a shitty review. That'd be awesome. Then
Hate on us for being white and boring.
Yeah.
The problem that bothers me is being boring.
Aww.
I can't believe it.
No, but seriously, Kristen, thank you so much for showing up and being on the podcast with us. We're gonna have to you back again.
Yeah.
Harvey
again,
Danger said, if you're bored,
and
then you're
again.
boring. Whoever thought we were boring is boring themselves. Fuck them.
Yeah.
No,
they're
man,
never gonna hear
that was
us.
episode 101. Leave a comment, like, share, hit the notification button, and fuck off and die.
Yeah. Mostly just fuck off and die.
Bye.
Gary V sent me a text.
Wildly uninteresting podcast.
I love you.
podcast.